ACCUSTATS Video Productions presents the 1991 Willards International 9-Ball Classic. I'm Bill Incardona, along with Jay Helfert. Jay, this is the semifinals. The tournament started with over 375 men players. $100,000 added to this event. We're down to 3 remaining players. There's one undefeated player in the tournament, Buddy Hall. And while he's in the ranks waiting for the winner of this particular match between Mike Massey and the veteran of the tour, Mike Lebron from Philadelphia.
Well, Mike LeBron just scored a real decisive 11-7 win over Johnny Archer, and Mike Massey dropped his match 11-8 to Buddy Hall, and Buddy Hall didn't play particularly well. So right now, I kind of favor Mike LeBron in this match to go into the finals.
Well, Mike is really a dynamic person. That's what you almost have to consider him as being a dynamic person. He's 56 or 57 years old, and he's able to compete with world-class players, not only world-class players, but the top world-class players, and consistently do well and win. So I think you have to give the edge to Mike LeBron because he's been there much more often than Mike Massey, and he seems to respond to the challenge a lot better. But I'm not trying to take anything away from Mike Massey. He's a strong player. He's made it this far in the tournament, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see him win this match or even go on to win the tournament.
Well, this first game is going to be a key game here. He's drawing down very close to side pocket. I'm not sure what he's going to do with the 6. The 6 and 8 are tied up on the lower right side rail.
Well, if the 6 will not go in either pocket, he'll play position for a safety and hook Mike behind the 8. And I believe that's what he's done, providing that the 6 will not pass the 8 into the upper right-hand corner.
He's going to stop that cue ball right against the 8 ball there. And does a good job of it.
And that's one of the reasons why he is a consistent winner on the tour, because he's a very smart player. He doesn't do anything real fancy. He knows what he has to do. He makes up his mind, sets his mind to do it. And he doesn't do anything fancy. He's a very smart player. And
he ran those first 5 balls just to play that safe.
You know, there are a lot more ways of winning games than just by running out. You know, you can run out to a cluster of balls and then hook your opponent behind a ball, and then when you get back to the table with ball in hand, hopefully you'll have another opportunity to win a game.
Mike takes a close look at that 7-9 down there. He doesn't know. It looks like the 7 will not pass the 9.
Well, from our angle, Jay, I don't know if it will pass, but it doesn't appear from our angle that it will pass the 9. So therefore, there was quite a bit of perplexity in this first rack. Each player has now gotten to the table twice. Excuse me. Each player will get to the table probably twice. This is the first time Mike's go. Well, he's going to break open the 7-9.
Break those up.
This is the second time Mike's been at the table, and I believe he should handle the remaining 4 balls on the table. I don't foresee any problem here. He'll just come down in between the 7 and 8, hitting 1 cushion.
Boy,
you know, he located the cue ball on a position.
Oh boy!
On the table where he had a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I really don't particularly agree with that, because when you stretch, you lose control of the cue ball a little bit. You lose a little bit of feel. And once again, he's found himself a little bit out of line, a little further away from the 8 ball than he wanted in the first game, especially.
He was real fortunate that cue ball just turned over enough for him to shoot the 7. And Mike's going to take game 1, Mike LeBron. I think we better call him LeBron and Massey. If we say Mike, we'll have everybody confused.
That's true. At the end of game number 1, Mike LeBron takes the early lead, 1-0. Well, Mike LeBron's got a fairly good break. He gets quite a bit of action off of his break, and that's another reason why he's a top finisher in most tournaments. Now, in that particular break, he pocketed 2 balls, the 1 and the 3. Now, the 2 ball will be the ball he'll have to be
just above the 9 ball at the bottom of the table.
Right.
I don't think he can see the full ball.
I believe he can pocket it. Now, the 4 ball is located in front of the lower left-hand corner pocket.
Mike LeBron doesn't waste any time. He gets right up to the table and fires away. He seems to know at a glance what he needs to do.
Well, let's identify the remaining balls very quickly. The 5 is in the center of the table. The 6 is by the right-hand side pocket. The 7 is in between the 5 and the 6. Okay, now he's gotten on the 50-yard line. If he elects to shoot the 5 in the right-hand corner, he may have to deal with the 8. Now he's drawing the ball. Looks like he's going to go with 3 cushions or 1 cushion.
Nice stroke. Very nice.
Very nice stroke. You're 100% right about that. You really shot that particular shot with a very nice stroke. Able to miss the 8 with that stroke. Very nicely done.
Mike played an excellent match last night in eliminating Nick Varner. Just did the same thing to Johnny Archer. 2 very fine, if not top players.
Another thing about Mike Jay is he seems to be a type of a person that rises to the occasion. And in Munich, Germany, he finished second in that tournament, but he defeated some very fine players, and the better his opponent was, the better he played. Game number 2 goes to Mike Lebron, who now extends his lead in the match at 2-0. Well, he pocketed 2 balls on the break in the last rack. There's no reason why he should switch locations from where he's breaking the balls. And he's pocketed again 1 ball on the break. But this time he's got a pretty testy shot in the 1. I don't see him shooting this shot because of the location of the 2. Now the 2 is sandwiched in between the 6 and the 4, the 6 being the ball closest to the farthermost right-hand corner pocket.
He likes to play safe and put the cue ball behind those balls, that cluster. Does a good job of it.
He certainly did. He evaluated the situation immediately, found out that, hey, why should I go after the 1? It's very, very difficult for me to get a position on the 2. I'll just put Mike Massey behind the 2, let him see if he can try to hit this ball kicking at it. And if he can't, I'll walk back to the table with ball in hand. Maybe I can do some damage that way.
More watching. We see Mike Massey preparing his jump cue. And next to him, we have an official, Don Feeney, known as the Preacher. He owns a local billiard room. He gives lessons. Very knowledgeable billiard player in the Chicago area.
And by the way, one of the top instructors in the country today, Don Feeney, you're right, he does give lessons, and very, very good lessons too, by the way.
Mike executes the jump shot well, but I think he's going to leave Mike Lebron a very good shot here.
Okay, that's exactly what happened, Jay. Mike steps to the table figuring, hey, listen, I deserve this. I put him behind the 2 and the 4. So now I'll see what I can do.
Billy, you spent a lot of time in this area. In fact, you live here now. Am I correct?
Yeah, I live about 25 miles. We're in St. Charles, Illinois, right here. This is St. Charles, Illinois. I live in Mount Prospect, which is about 25 miles from here. I've been commuting every day.
Look at this shot.
Very nicely done. Now, the 3 ball is close to the bottom left-hand corner pocket.
And that was the 4 ball he just kissed out.
So that'll be the ball he'll be playing position for right now. And what I mean by that is you play position for the 3rd ball always. You play position to have an angle on your next ball to get to the 3rd ball. And now he'll be playing position for the 4 to drop onto the 6. And the 6 is to the right.
Upper right corner pocket.
Upper right-hand corner pocket, right.
And the 7 near the right-hand side pocket. The 8, the opposite side pocket. I don't foresee any difficulties for Mike the rest of this rack now. The key shot was that 1 ball coming over and breaking out the 4 so he could shoot the 2.
Exactly. Cross table twice, I would imagine, here. 8's in front of the side. Shouldn't be any problem with that. Got a nice angle on the 7. 9's on the foot spot. This is game number 3.
The man we're watching right now, Mike Lebron, is perhaps playing the best pool of anybody in the tournament right now. Buddy Hall was not particularly impressive winning his last match. He wobbled that 7 ball a little bit.
Well, he hit it with excellent speed, Jay. Now, if he would have hit that ball any harder than that, it may not have gone in. He's a very smart player. He realizes the kind of speed that he needs on certain shots to widen the pocket. And that is possible on certain angles. You can make the pocket play larger if you hit it with the correct speed. Game number 3 goes to Mike Lebron, who extends his lead in the match now at 3-0.
This match is worth $16,000 to the winner. Loser, will be third place in the tournament and win $9,000. Not a bad payday.
Pretty big swing, $7,000, and also with an opportunity to advance on to the finals for that $30,000 first prize.
You'd like to be in that match, wouldn't you, Bill?
Oh, so sure I would like to be in that match. The promoter of the tournament, the promoter of the tournament is Jim Willard, sanctioned by the MPBA and also the WPBA. Scott Smith is our director, along with co-director Dwayne Bowman.
Co-sponsor Brunswick Billiards. They provided this fine equipment, the Gold Crown 3s that you see here.
The tables were playing very nice this week, very nicely, and Centennial balls, and most of the players enjoy playing with the Centennial balls.
Buddy Hole had a few complaints about the cue ball.
Well, the cue ball plays a little lighter than what we're accustomed to. We're accustomed to playing with the red circle, which is a little heavier ball, and so therefore this cue ball plays well, but we're accustomed to playing with a little heavier balls, so naturally we're going to feel that this ball plays light, but it really doesn't.
That's what Buddy said. We overheard him a few times in the last match saying, this ball's light. And he did that after he got out of position a couple times.
Isn't that strange? You can be playing in a tournament for about a week, right? And when you get out of position and you hit something and you go long, you say, man, this ball's playing light. God, what?
That's exactly what
this
happened.
ball's really light, you know? Couldn't be me.
Mike needs to do something right now. He needs to get untracked.
Desperately. Yes, he does. He's already trailing 0-3. This is the fourth game. He has an excellent opportunity to cut into that lead. Now, the 4 ball is at the other end of the table. The end of the table where Mike is shooting from. The 5 is nearest the lower left-hand corner pocket.
He's going to shoot the 2 right past the 3. Does a good job.
No, he's
Look out for the 9 ball.
He's hit it too softly.
You better go get that jump cue again.
He's hit it too softly. You know, Mike had that problem against Don McCoy early in their match. He came up short several different times. And as the match progressed, naturally his speed became better. He had better speed to the cue ball. But once again, he's come up short. He's hit the ball too softly. And he has a nice soft stroke for such a big man, but sometimes it's just too soft, like this time, for instance. He's going to jump over the 9 here with the short jump cue. I look for him to pocket the 3 and draw the cue ball somewhere around the area of the 7. He might even go into the 7 here. Well, he was able to pocket the 3, missing the 7, and look, Jay, he's in perfect line for the 4. Okay, the way I would play this shot, Jay, is to go 1 cushion toward the 9. If I hit the 9, I'm going to be okay. If I miss the 9, I'm going to go to the end cushion and then back up. Hit it with the speed to go 2 1/4 cushions. 2 cushions and up about 10 inches.
Just natural running English.
Toward the 9. Now that's good. He's going to hit the 9. Now the 6 is in front of the side pocket. He shouldn't have any problem with that ball. Drawing the cue ball back to center table. 1 cushion. Mike plays with a Tim Shrugs cue, by the way. A very fine cue maker from the Baltimore area. Mike also is regarded by his peers and also most spectators and viewers as one of the best, if not the best, exhibition players in the country today, perhaps even in the world.
Yeah, he shoots some shots that nobody else even attempts.
But right now, he's not doing an exhibition. He's playing for one of the biggest first prizes in the history of pool. Anyways, he finally does get on the board, Jay, and that's his first win. Mike Lebron 3. Mike Massey 1 after game number 4. Something a little extra here, Jay. I'm ranked number 21 on the tour ranking list, and they're taking the top 20 players from the United States in the World Tournament.
Right.
And so Sal Butera is ranked right alongside of me, and I had to try to beat out Sal Butera in this tournament to qualify for the World Tournament. Now, Mike Massey was going to lose 30 or 40 points in this tournament, so I really didn't even consider him being a challenge for the 20th spot, since he was going to drop probably all the way down to like 27th. What do you know? I beat out Sal Butera. It wasn't my fault. But Mike Massey not only got back to 30 or 40 points that he lost coming into this tournament, but plus, you know, points.
Yeah, he
plus
moved
that.
way up with his finish in this event.
So that's kind of strange. And
So they're
funny.
only taking 20 players in the World Tournament? Is that
20 American players, right?
Hmm.
Okay, he pocketed 2 balls on the break, the 6 and the 8. Now, the 2 ball is right underneath him now on the left-hand cushion. The 3 ball to the right of the foot spot. Well, that was a very nice shot. It looks like he's hit this ball with excellent speed. He's got himself a perfect shot on the 2 with a very nice angle. He'll just roll this in with his soft stroke, play position for the 3 naturally in the lower right-hand corner pocket. The 4 sits right in front of the upper right. The 5 sits in front of the left side. He may even go cross table playing the position for the 3, the lower left.
No, he went for the
No.
lower
Well,
right.
he likes to hit balls softly, and once again, he's chosen the 1 rail route.
Ooh.
Well, I thought he was a little precipitous in shooting that shot, Jay. He really didn't take much time. He's looking up here. I hope we're not disturbing him.
I don't think so. He's looking at people in the audience there, people that are moving around.
Well, he can ill afford to make too many mistakes against a player of the caliber of Mike Lebron. You know, he cannot squander any more opportunities against Mike Lebron because Mike Lebron is an opportunist. He will take advantage of an opportunity.
He sent Don Feeney looking for a bridge as well, and LeBron finds the bridge that he wants. It's not the Laurie John bridge they've been using throughout the tournament. That's one I think been provided by Rick Boley, our cameraman. A lot of the players weren't too happy about that loose side bridge that they were required to use during the course of this event. It's quite a bit different than the bridge we're used to. Mike's got to get past the 9, and he does. Slides up for an easy 7 ball.
Mike's playing very nicely out there, Jay. He doesn't have any problem with the speed of the table. He's quite comfortable. He's not affected by the pressure. He doesn't, at least he doesn't appear to be affected by it at this point. This is game number 5. It goes to Michael Lebron, who now extends his lead in the match by 3 games at 4 games to 1.
Mike Massey walks over to the audience. I don't understand what Mike's he's talking to some people over here in the crowd.
Well, what he's doing, he's asking some spectators they were in his sight there when he was shooting the 3 ball. Obviously, they moved or they were talking, and he feels that he was distracted by that, so he confronted them and he asked them if they would please try to be a little more silent or not make much movement if he's shooting in that area or toward them. It's a race to 11. Each of these players have 1 loss. The loser will then be eliminated from the tournament, but he will finish 3rd and pick up, like Jay said, I believe it's $7,000?
$9,000.
$9,000? I'm sorry,
Nice
$9,000 for 3rd. It certainly is a nice payday, $9,000 for 3rd place. I really have to take my hat off to Jim Willard. He did a splendid job in promoting this event.
Oh, this has been a beautiful event. It's been a wonderful week here at the Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles, Illinois.
And I don't really see why we can't have more tournaments like this, because look at the turnout he's gotten here. Last night there was standing room only. Today in the afternoon, standing room only. I don't understand why we can't have more tournaments like this, Jay.
This is what our sport needs. We need more $100,000 events, and this one certainly was that. The total purse for men's and women's division, approximately $150,000.
Nice stroke. I believe he has a slight angle. He'll go 2 cushions out toward the... No, he's a little straighter in than I thought. He may have a little problem. He has to watch this shot. He has to be very careful with this shot here. Very nice stroke.
Draws back for the 4 ball in the upper right corner.
Okay, now he has a little problem here, Jay. The 5 will not pass the 7 for the lower left-hand corner pocket. So therefore, he only... And also, I don't believe it'll go in the lower right-hand corner pocket, so he must play the 5 up table, either in the 2 sides or the 2 farthest corner pockets. And if he's straight in on the 4, he certainly has a problem. Well, he was okay. He had an angle, but he has to watch. No, it's okay. He's got a shot on the 5. Okay, executed very nicely. He's in just about perfect line for the 5. It's not a very difficult shot. He should make this ball.
That's the 8-9 that's tied up below the 6 ball there. He may be able to break those balls off the 6 ball.
It would be very risky for him to break him up off the 6, but it looks like he's playing for that angle. Now, he's going to hit the top side of the 9 here, Jay. And in doing so, he might scratch in that lower left-hand corner pocket if he's not careful. And if he's able to avoid that scratch in the lower left-hand pocket, I don't see the cue ball getting around and on top of the 7 very easily. But it could happen. Let's see what happens.
I think he'd like to draw off the top of the 9 and have the cue ball come back up the table a little bit without hitting the end rail. Just touch the 9.
I believe myself that I would...
now he's going high.
I would try to...
high English.
I would try
around it.
Okay, well, he went into the 7, and he may end up with a shot, and he does in the upper left-hand corner pocket, and the 8 sits in front of the lower right. So therefore, all he needs to do now, Jay, is keep his eye on the ball and don't do anything foolishly, and I think he'll win his second game. This is game number 6.
Just cinch the 7 ball. Does a good job. Hits it nicely.
He should use the rail here. Well, he doesn't. Thanks, Mike. Game number 6. Okay, he's done his job well in game number 6, Jay. He now narrows the gap to 2 games to 4, and he puts a little pressure on Mike LeBron now. But that's what he needs to do, and he has to keep doing it. He has to keep applying the pressure to Mike LeBron. If Mike feels that Mike Massey is not a threat in this match, he will feel quite comfortable at the table and maybe never make a mistake. But if Massey continues to apply the pressure to LeBron, something might change, and maybe things might start going Massey's way.
Well said, Billy.
Okay, now he's broken the balls very nicely, Jay. All the balls are all spread out. There's nothing on the rail with the exception of the 3 nearest the right-hand corner pocket. The 2 is nearest the lower right-hand corner pocket, and all he needs to do is play position for the 3 in the upper right. The 5 is cross table. He pocketed the 4 on the break.
Just roll this one slowly.
Now, he's in line to play position for the 3 in the upper right-hand corner pocket. There's no reason for him to play position in any other pocket because he already has position. When you have position, there's no reason for you to try to find another pocket for position. And that's very nice. He got very close to the ball. A little straighter in than he wanted, but he's close to the ball, so it's a lot more workable.
He's going to try and punch this cue ball off the rail a little bit.
He might even be drawing this ball, Jay.
He's going to take a firm stroke.
See, when you're that close to the ball, the make percentage of the shot goes up tremendously. And since you're that close to the ball, you can draw the ball a lot easier and hit it with a softer stroke. That's exactly what he's done. And he has that soft stroke that he executes very nicely. Game number 7.
Mike seems to have recovered from the disappointing loss he had a few minutes ago to Buddy Hall. Buddy gave him every opportunity to win that match, and he refused to take it. It was one of the more poorly played matches I've seen by Buddy Hall at a critical juncture in an event.
Yeah, and that isn't very often you'll see a poorly played match by Buddy Hall. Now, the angle that Mike should have gotten there was he should have stayed behind the ball slightly, coming across table. Now he's going to have to draw the ball, and then the speed of the shot becomes a little more of a problem.
Going too fast here.
See, the speed of the shot becomes a little more of a problem when you play that type of position on the 8. If he would have played the natural angle on the 8 to go to the side cushion and cross table, the speed is not important at all because you have a large area to the left by the side pocket to land with the cue ball. Now that all stems from his inability to play the correct angle on the 8.
Exactly. That's remindful of the mistakes he made in the first match against Buddy. Buddy gave him opportunities and Mike failed to get out. Just like that.
Okay, game number 7 goes to Mike LeBron. It was a gift from Mike Massey. Mike LeBron is very thankful for it and appreciative. This is game number 7. It was 4-2. Now it's 5-2 in favor of Mike LeBron. It should be 4-3, Jay. It's 5-2. It's a 2-game swing. It's awfully big. Every game from here on after is very crucial to Mike Massey. He cannot afford to squander another opportunity against Mike LeBron, and if he expects to win.
Oh, boy. Looks like the 1-9 rolled right into position.
Well, you're sitting in the chair after squandering an opportunity, making an unforced error, and you say to yourself, you know, why do things like this happen to me? But then you stop and you say, you know, I deserve this, and he's right.
It's a very easy 1-9 combination.
Very easy is right. After game number 8, Mike Lebron widens the gap now at 6 games to 2. It's a 4-game deficit. It's certainly not insurmountable, but no reason why it should be a 4-game deficit, Jay. Well, Mike Massey is going to have his hands full coming back in this match. He must forget about that error, not dwell on it. If he gets another opportunity at the table, he has to get it together. He was playing very well up until that point.
Nothing on the break there. I don't think Mike has quite enough room to see the 1 ball past the 5. It's close. It's close.
It looks like he has room, Jay. I was just informed by Pat Fleming, who has a much better view than we. He says he does have room, and so Pat's never wrong.
He is shooting at it. He does. That's the 2 ball by the side pocket. The 3 ball is just above the 9.
Okay, now the 3 ball may be a little bit of a problem for Mike, but fortunately the 4 is located almost in front of the upper left-hand corner pocket, which makes position on the 4 a lot easier, so therefore making the problem with the 3 a lot easier to deal with. Okay, he's located the cue ball in an ideal position. He'll just pocket the 3. I look for him to draw the cue ball to the side cushion and then back out toward the center of the table. He's got a powerful stroke. He can do it. Now, once again, he's missed the ball, and he's missed another ball in the same pocket in the same way. He's overcut that ball the same thing he did to the other 3 ball, and they were both 3 balls.
And he lucked the ball in 3 rails.
Well, he can feel quite fortunate. He's missed 3 balls in this match, but he was able to pocket the last one that he missed the 3 ball just then.
Almost missed that ball.
Yeah, he's a little unnerved right now, and it's understandable. You know, he's already missed 3 balls, and he's at the table, and he's probably thinking kind of negative at this point. He has to shake it, though.
Yeah, he needs to get through this rack. Very important.
Well, he shouldn't do anything fancy here. If he's got an angle to draw straight back, he should play to the left of the 8 ball and draw straight back to the left of the 8 ball. Nothing fancy. They're very nicely done. Now, I look for him to swing 2 cushions, playing position for the 8 in the left-hand side pocket. That seems to be a better shot. It's easier to control this shot. You have a lot more area.
Exactly.
To land safely in. And that's very nicely done. Now he can go around the table and play the 9 in the lower left-hand corner pocket, or he can do a number of other things, but I think...
A little reversing. Let's just hold the cue ball.
Okay, he's reversing. Now, I particularly like the other shot better, and I'll explain why after he pockets the 9. Okay, after game number 9, Mike Massey edges 1 game closer to Mike Lebron now at 3 games to 6. And the reason I like playing the round the table position, or around the 9 position, is the skit factor.
Yes.
Okay, now if you roll the ball, especially with inside English, you know, balls skit a lot.
We saw that in the
English,
first game. Buddy hit a
hit
shot just like that, and the ball skidded. He missed the 8 ball that way.
You've got ball skit when you hit them softly and when you use inside English. Now, that was a combination of both. He hit it softly with inside English. That's why I would opt to go around the 9. And if, for you viewers out there, keep that in mind. If you like that soft shot, use it. But when you get burnt with it with the skit, remember what I said.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Billy. A lot of people don't understand exactly what we mean by a skid. And really what happens at that moment is that the cue ball contacts the object ball with a little bit more friction. They stay together for an instant longer, causing the angle to be changed, and the object ball actually skids on the table.
That's exactly what happens, Jay. I'm quite impressed with your knowledge of the game.
Thank you, Billy. I learned it all watching you. Well, we have a short break in the action as Mike Massey takes his allotted 5-minute break at this time. Mike Massey sits comfortably in the chair. He gets up now. We see Preacher Feeney.
Okay, let's take a look at the ballroom here. A very, very spacious ballroom, 12,000 square feet, wide open. Plenty of room for the spectators. Kelly Ayama, who is one of the 2 undefeated women players in the tournament. No, I believe she was just defeated because she's playing Ava Mataya now.
Yeah, this is the losers bracket final right now. And she's winning that match 3-1 with Ava. The winner of this match will play Robin Bell in the race to 13 finals.
And one might say to themselves, Kelly Oyama is beating Ava Mataya. Well, that doesn't figure, does it? Well, maybe it does figure because Ava Mataya is in the loser's bracket. And you know who put her there? Kelly Oyama.
Yeah, that's right. Kelly's played very well this week.
Yes, she has. I have to give her credit. She has certainly
John
played
Lewis,
extremely well in one of the biggest tournaments.
John Lewis representing the Billiard Congress of America.
Mike Pinoza, there he is.
He's stellar really writer with the Billiards Digest.
And a pretty good guy, too. How you doing, Mike? And Kelly Oyama again, Mike. Excuse me, Jay. Pat, you're in my ear, okay? Will you quit bugging me? That's Pat Fleming. I can hear him. No one else can, but except Jay and I. Now, there's Mauro Paez's wife in the red sweater there.
Yeah, I see Larry Humphreys on the left. Larry Humphreys owns a large ranch.
There's John Morrow with his head down. He's probably reading a book or something.
That's Larry Humphreys right behind John Lewis. John Lewis is our official for this women's match.
And there's a group of women very intently watching Kelly Oyama at the table.
There's as many women watching these matches as men, which is encouraging.
And there's Dave Piona, okay?
We used to call him Frisco Dave.
He went around the country masquerading as me. How you doing, Dave?
And Water Dog next to him.
Put a lot of heat in your game, didn't you? And Water Dog next to him, Water Dog. What is his real name, Jay? You should know that.
His name is Don... Oh, let me think of it now. I can't think of his last name.
I don't mean to put you under pressure, but in the meantime, I'll give you a break. We're back in action.
Don Water Dog.
All right. I knew you'd come through. Okay, we're back in action now. This is game number 10. Mike Massey trails in the match 3 games to 6 and breaking the balls. Look, there goes the 9, but almost, but not quite. Okay, he came up dry, but it really didn't seem to be costly. At least he doesn't suffer any immediate consequence. The 9 is by the lower right-hand corner pocket. Now the 2 is below and to the left slightly of the foot spot. The 3 is on the left-hand cushion. Okay, I think Mike's going to go ahead and try to cut the 1 in the upper right-hand corner pocket, possibly swinging the cue ball toward. Well, I don't know if he can do that because the 7's in the way. So I think that was a little bit precipitous in choosing that shot because at first I thought that was available. Then when I took a second look at it, the 7 was too big of a ball. The 7 is in the center of the table there. And Mike wanted to swing the cue ball 2 rails down the table, but that 7 represented too much of an obstacle in the way of that path.
Yeah, he would like to have had the cue ball continue and get behind the 5 and 6, which are above the 9 ball there. Obviously, that didn't happen.
Now, what Mike is doing, he's putting his finger on a part of the rail at the other end of the table to see if the bank is on. I don't know if I would do this. I would play a safety. I would hit the left-hand side of the 1, spin 2 cushions out of the upper left-hand corner pocket, and bring the cue ball down toward the 9 in that cluster of balls that lie in front of the 9.
Looks to me like Mike's shooting the 1 ball in the upper left corner pocket.
Okay, well, if he's going to go for the upper left corner pocket, I can't find fault with this shot.
He does?
Okay, he happened to miss it slightly, but I really don't find fault in what he selected. But it looks like he got a little fortunate there, Jay. Put him behind the 7. I believe that he is behind the 7. Now, he'll try to back kick the 1 and stick the cue ball. Well, he wasn't able to do that unless he tried to hit the 1 ball thinly off the bottom cushion and come back down table past the 7. Well, regardless of what he tried to do, he wasn't successful. Mike Massey steps to the table with an opportunity to win this game.
That's the 2 ball down there where the diamond is, where the balls are racked. The 3 ball on the lower left side rail. Oh, boy. Inexplicably, Mike Massey misses a relatively easy 1 ball. The 8 did get kicked down and covers the 3 ball at the lower left corner.
I agree with you, Jay. There's no reason why he should have missed that ball. No, he's missed 3 or 4 shots in the match already, and this is only game number 10. Could it be the pressure? Mike Massey certainly is a better player than what he's than his performance is up to date. He certainly is a better player than what he's showing.
So Mike will shoot this 2 ball in the lower left corner. He's thinking about his next shot. He may even opt to bank the 3 into the 9. It's not a very hard bank shot.
But he has an angle that after contacting the 2 ball, the cue ball is going to go away from the 3.
Almost looked like he tried to hit the 8 ball with the cue ball.
Okay, now he's almost forced Jay to try to play the 9, even though he has a bad angle, because for him to try to play a safety, the 3 ball will go 1 cushion, 2 cushions, but then what happens to it? There's 3 balls on the other side of the table, the 9, the 6, and then the 5.
He's looking at this like he can cut the 3 ball in. I'm not sure. No, he played safe.
Okay, now what he did exactly is he put him behind the 8. That was his priority. His priority was not controlling the object ball, it was controlling the cue ball. And he's done that very nicely. But meantime, the object ball leaked out, which didn't figure to happen because there were 2 balls on that side of the table, the 6 and the 5, to stop the progress of the object ball. He didn't hit either one of those balls, and it leaked out. Can Mike bank this ball cross-side, Jay?
I don't know if he can bank it. I think he's just trying to hit the edge of the 3 ball and send the cue ball back down all the way up to the top of the table and leave the 3 ball against the side rail there.
Okay, now he's looking to kick. He's trying to figure out what part of that upper cushion he's going to need to hit to successfully hit the 3 ball. Now let's see if his little system is effective.
That's a tough ball to hit here. He does.
Well, I'll tell you what,
job.
he's a trick shot player and one of the best in the world, like we mentioned prior to the match. And that's one of the reasons why that comes in handy. His ability to go rail first and kick balls and Massey shots. I mean, he's really excels in that area of the game. Okay, now the 6 ball is located on the bottom cushion. All he needs to do now, Jay, is just softly roll on the 5, keeping a nice angle on the 6 to get back up table for the 7, either in the side or the corner pocket. I look for him to play a position for the 7 in the side here. It's far enough off of the cushion for him to have no problem attaining position for it. But he decided that he'll play for the corner, laid a little more natural that way. A little longer shot, but it shouldn't present much of a problem for him, which it didn't. Okay, this is game number 10, and he should be able to win game number 10, pocket the 9 in the lower right-hand corner pocket.
He closes the gap. Mike Massey trails 4 games to 6 now. Just when it looked like Mike Lebron was going to run away with the match, a couple good breaks for Mike Massey after he missed the balls, and he's back in the match. 4-6 and breaking.
Right, Mike played a bad safety. Mike LeBron, that is, played a bad safety on the 1 ball. Then Massey stepped to the table, missing the 1, but hooking Mike LeBron. Mike LeBron kicked him back of the 1 and sold out the rack. This is game number 11. Well, Mike Massey still hasn't proven to me yet, Jay, if he can settle down or if he will settle down, because that rack was not really that difficult after ratting into the 3 ball. The remainder of the rack didn't create much of a problem for him.
He took a little bit off the break, but he didn't make a ball on the break. Unfortunately, he left himself hooked on the 1 behind the 7 ball. He made the 5. That's the 7 right next to the cue ball. Okay,
now he's going to have a big problem pushing here, Jay, because of the way the balls are located. The 3 and 8 are laying nearest the upper left-hand corner pocket. And if he's not careful after he leaves the table off of his push, he's going to find himself back at the table behind the 3 and 8. So I don't agree with this push out at all. And now he's forcing Mike LeBron to shoot this shot. Mike's going to put him behind the 8, but it's not that easy of a hook. There is a risk to it, but I would think it's about...
Well, LeBron's a good safety player.
It's about an even money proposition. Yeah. He should hook Mike Massey half the time from this position. But he went around the 8. Okay, maybe Massey used good judgment in pushing out there. It was a risky shot. If Mike LeBron wasn't able to hook Massey behind the 3 and the 8, Massey would then step to the table with a shot, and that's what happened.
Watch out. And he lost the cue ball.
Well, that was that soft stroke. Myself, I would have applied much more stroke. Instead of playing that 1 cushion, I would have drawn the ball 2 cushions out of the lower left-hand corner, 2 cushions up, playing position for the 2 in the lower right-hand corner pocket. That way, there would be no way I would run into the 2 or the 9 that was there. Excuse me.
Yeah, what you saw Mike Massey doing prior to the shot was he was measuring with his cue stick where he wanted the cue ball to go, and he did not follow that course.
So far, up to this point of the match, Mike Massey has made Mike Lebron's job a little easier than it should have been. I'm not going to try to take anything away from Mike Lebron's play. He's played superlatively throughout this match.
He's played well.
He's played well, too.
Yeah. Coming up very nicely for the 6th ball. He merely has to stop the cue ball, draw it back an inch or two. At the 7.
Now, he's got to draw this ball back now. He can't hit it too softly. He's got to draw it back, which he's done nicely. And also has the ideal angle coming from the side cushion down table to the 2nd cushion. Playing this 2 cushions, 1 cushion and then 2 cushions, then toward the 9.
Another victory for Mike Lebron.
And Mike's doing his job. He's saying, listen, if Mike Massey squanders, if he makes an error, I'm going to show him that I'm going to run the balls, putting more pressure on him. And that's what he's done. After game number 11, Mike Lebron now leads by 3 games in the match. It's a race to 11. The score now is Mike Lebron 7, Mike Massey 4.
Well, over the last few years, LeBron's been in this position many times. He's a very seasoned competitor now, very respected by his peers. And you anticipate him playing well in the final matches of a major tournament. Mike Massey, this is not a normal position for him. He's a consistent high finisher, 9th through 12th, 7th and 8th, maybe even 5th and 6th. But to be playing at this point is somewhat of a surprise.
Very well put, Jay. Very well put. Mike LeBron does have the experience as far as the 2 players out there are concerned. Mike LeBron definitely has more experience at this level in the tournament. Seven to 4. That reminds me of another score that was 7-4 between Bob Hunter and Johnny Archer. Bob Hunter was leading Johnny Archer in this tournament 7-4, only to see Johnny Archer turn around and win 7 consecutive games and defeat Bob Hunter 11-7.
Well, LeBron made the 1 ball in the break, and he pushed out on the 2. He's got a little window between the 4 and the 5 up there to see the 2.
I would take this shot if I was Mike Massey. He has 3 things going for him. The 4 and the 5, because Mike's going to bank the 2 ball past the 4 and the 5, and he also has the 7 on the other side to get the cue ball behind. So there was a lot of, that shot was very workable. Now Mike Massey steps to the table behind the 4 and the 5, and I believe he should have accepted that shot.
I think this is one of the areas where Mike Massey's game falls down a little bit over the top players. His safety play and some of the critical decisions he makes are not necessarily the ones you would expect from a top player. We saw that in the earlier match with Buddy Hall. He made a couple of judgments that cost him games. And he's going to leave LeBron a good shot, although it might be a combination of 2-3.
Well, he's left Mike LeBron a 2-3 combination for sure. I doubt if the 2 will pass a 3 in the upper left-hand corner pocket, but he has left him.
Mike's looking at it. He may be able to shoot the 2 past the 3. Yeah.
Yes, he did.
It's a little hard to see from up here.
Okay, very quickly, the 4 is in the center of the table. The 5 is sandwiched in between the 6 and the 4. The 6 is nearest the left-hand side pocket.
Perhaps the 6th, the most difficult shot of this rack, just off the side pocket, a little bit of an extreme angle into the side.
Okay, Mike went a little, he didn't come far enough on the 4, so he's probably going to have to play position for the 5 in another fashion, which he's done. He's come down table and back up table toward the 5. He's located the cue ball on the correct side of the 5, but maybe a little too much. He's going to probably have to go into the 7 here.
I think that's almost where he wants to be, though, Billy. If he hits a 7, it won't bother him. The 6 will go in the side or the end.
If the 6 goes into the side, I don't foresee any problems for the remainder of the rack, that's for sure. And it does. 8 in front of the lower left-hand corner pocket. Okay, well, now he's gotten a little straighter in than he wanted to. He's probably going to have to, if he could swing it 2 cushions around and play the 9 in the same pocket, he will. 1, 2, which he does quite easily. So therefore, the angle that he had was a lot It was more of an angle than I thought he had. He was able to play position quite easily. This game, that was game number 12.
And Mike Lebron takes an 8-4 lead in this match. Somewhat of a commanding lead right now, considering the way that he's playing. LeBron seems to be somewhat confused about the scoring. He was putting scores up going the wrong way in his match with Archer. People in the audience kept telling him, no, you're moving the beads the wrong way. And he's a little confused about these beads here as well.
Another point I'd like to bring up. When Mike LeBron faced Johnny Archer, the odds maker had Johnny Archer as a 1-2 game favorite in that particular match. But those two players met in Germany, by the way, Jay. Mike LeBron defeated Johnny Archer in Germany also.
Mm-hmm. I like Mike LeBron's game. I always have. I like the way he goes about it. He shoots a very simple, effortless game. He's probably as relaxed at the table as any player. He's going to come down. Massey hits the 2. Has no shot. Don Feeney looks. Sees that the 2 balls are frozen together and lets the players know that fact.
Well, I don't particularly care for the way he's playing this. He's gambling on putting him behind one sole ball, the 6th ball.
And
okay,
didn't.
I don't like that kind of a gamble because it requires a master's touch to do that. And right now, I don't believe he has that. If he was winning in the match and playing well, perhaps he could do that. But at this time in the match, I don't believe he was a favorite to do that.
He needed a jeweler's touch, and he hit it like a blacksmith.
I myself would have elevated, send the 2 balls to the side cushion, and then eventually back down to the bottom cushion, and leave some distance and a much harder shot in case I erred on the shot.
There you go.
But he didn't do that. He elected to play the very risky shot. He sold out, and he may pay for it.
We just saw Mike LeBron hit an excellent 3-rail shot for position on the 4. He's a good finisher.
Well, Mike LeBron feels that he's in control of the match, and he's playing quite well because he's very comfortable out there. He's not feeling much pressure right now, feeling that he will get his opportunities. Once again, I don't mean to take anything away from Mike's performance. He's playing extremely well. A little rough.
But like you said earlier in the match, he knows how to hit the pocket with the right speed so that it can use the whole pocket and touch the side rail and still go in.
Exactly, he does. He gets the benefit of the pocket by the speed which he hits balls.
Comes down nicely.
Well, these are 4.5-inch pockets, Jay. It's a little more difficult to pocket balls on 4.5-inch pocket opposed to 5-inch pockets. Naturally.
Yeah, these are much tighter than you would find in your local billiard room. I want to remind you, if you see a player miss a ball once in a while, these tables have been set up to championship specifications, and 4.5 is a tight pocket. Mike's name around billiard circles is Spanish Mike, relating to his Puerto Rican heritage.
Mike really desperately wants to win this event. He would probably rather win this event just for the trophy in the event, just to win it, than the money, because Mike's fairly well off. He's been doing quite well in the past several years. He's worked practically all his life, I think, 20 years. I don't know exactly what job he had, but he has worked all his life just about. And then he retired in the last 5 or 6 years, just playing pool on the tour. He's only been playing pool on the tour for about 6 years now, Jay. He was relatively unknown prior to that, and he certainly has made his presence felt.
Well, he had a reputation as a local player around Philadelphia. We'd hear about him from time to time. Spanish Mike had beaten somebody, but nobody had any idea that he was a top quality player. And he came out on the tour, and with 1 year already, he was competitive with the best players.
Yeah, Mike managed to keep his low profile, his game under wraps for quite some time, but unfortunately for Mike, from this point on, he cannot hustle on the road, because when he walks into a door, into a pool room somewhere, they say, "Psst, hey, Spanish Mike over there." Excuse me, Mike. You blew it.
We played a very smart safety there. He could have shot at that 7-ball, and he chose to leave Mike at the other end of the table. I think he knows Mike Massey's not really precise right now with his game, and Lebron will take advantage of that fact. He may opt to bank this ball cross side.
I'm sure that he will. He's not going to be thinking safety now. He's at the table playing very well. Well, he is thinking safety.
Well, he fooled us both. Made a good safety. Ducked behind the 9-ball.
Perhaps the position on the 8 was the problem, even more so than the bank. So, considering both of the problems compounding, he figured, oh, I might as well just play a safety. And he's done that quite well. If Mike can't see this ball, I believe he's going to get out his jumps cue here.
If Rick Boley can show us Mike Massey well, he was way down on the ground, kneeling down, looking at this shot. I'm kind of surprised that Mike hasn't gone to his jump cue. I guess he's going to try and hit it on the left side and cut it in the upper right corner pocket. Very difficult shot from here. That left corner pocket looks awful big. Ooh. That's certainly his best shot of this match.
Okay, and in the meantime, he's confronted with another very difficult shot. That one he didn't figure to make. This one, about even money. Maybe he's a slight favorite, but not much more than that.
Long and straight in the upper left corner. He needs this one bad.
Very nice shot. Took a lot of guts to make that shot. Believe me, trailing 4 games to 9. That was a crucial shot in this match. Game number 14 goes to Mike Massey, who now narrows the gap at 5 games to 9. He still has a chance in this match. The lead certainly isn't insurmountable. He can come back, but he must not make any more errors. He cannot make any more errors. He's hanging by a very thin thread right now. And another error, this match could be history.
He really needs to put a few racks together right now. He needs to run off at least a couple racks. I don't think Mike LeBron's going to need more than 1 or 2 turns at the table to finish the match off. And Massey's got to know that. Meanwhile, on the other table, Ava Mataya pulls out to a 5-4 lead over Kelly Oyama.
Okay, now he's pocketed the ball on the break, Jay. That's what he desperately needed to do.
Very good break shot. Made the 1 ball on the break. He's got the 2 by the upper left corner. He's got the 3 lower left and the 4 at the upper right. So the balls are spread out nicely.
Okay, there's no problem with the 2, the 3, and the 4, but right away I see a problem with the 5, unless he plays position for the 5 in the lower left-hand corner pocket and swings the ball over for the 6, which is behind the foot spot in the same pocket. Now he's going to have to get close to the 4 now so he can actually control the cue ball with less effort and more accurately. He's gotten quite a distance from the 3.
Off the end rail between the 6 and the 9.
Okay, well, he's gotten out of line here, Jay. This is the wrong angle on the 4. This is the wrong side of the 4. He wanted to get on the other side of the 4 so he can come straight up table toward the 5, playing position for the 5 in the lower left-hand corner pocket, swinging the cue ball to the right, playing position for the 6 in the same pocket. He's got out of line. I don't know if the 5 will pass the 9 in the lower right-hand corner. Even if it does, the 6 certainly won't.
5 will pass. I don't think it's a full pocket, though. I think he's got about a half pocket there.
But he's on the wrong side of the 5 to play position on the 6. That's the next ball.
He's going to draw back and forth.
Okay, a little tricky there, and he's good at that.
Hit that ball very nicely. Drew up above the 6.
Illustrating his powerful stroke.
Some say the most powerful.
This is game number 15. If he's able to run the 3 remaining balls on the table, Jay, this match will get a little bit closer at 6 games to 9. And he's definitely within striking distance at 6 to 9.
I agree with you there, Billy. He's going to get this one. He needs to break and run out 1 more rack at least. That's what I say. If not 2. He's got to keep Mike LeBron in his chair.
Now you hear his supporters.
Mike Massey's a big favorite of the fans here. They always enjoy his shows. He does the most amazing trick shots, great tricks where he spins the ball with his fingers. He does magic tricks with cards on a pool table. And they call him the Tennessee's Tarzan, as you know, because he also does remarkable feats of strength. He can do more extended one-handed push-ups than anybody I've ever seen try to do 2-handed push-ups.
He's a multi-talented person, I should say. And he also is a country western singer. He has a good voice.
He's got a very nice voice.
He sings for all the guys occasionally, and some of the girls too, even though he is married.
He's married to his lovely wife, Francine. Very fine lady.
Okay, this time Jay's pocketed 2 balls on the break, the 1 and the 2. The 3 ball will be the ball he'll be trying to pocket now, which is in front of the lower right-hand corner pocket, but not so near to it that it's an easy shot. It's a little testy shot. He has to come with the shot. This may be the key shot in the rack. Now, the 6 and the 7 are closely together at the other end of the table. Looks like the combination is very makeable, but this is the important shot. All his priority and concentration must go on pocketing the 3 ball right now.
I think he can just use center ball, come right back up for the 4 if he makes the 3. Ooh.
Like I said, that was a very, very crucial shot. He needed a lot of concentration for that particular shot. It wasn't an easy shot.
He did come around far enough for the 4 ball. He was all right if he'd have made it.
Mike Lebron has a nice angle. Will swing 2 cushions around the 6 and the 7.
Pockets the ball nicely. Comes down well for the 4 ball. 6-7 looks like the only problem, although they seem to be on as a combination. I think the 7 will go in the upper left corner.
And plus he has a nice angle on the 4 to drop nicely on the 5 on the side to float down table for the 6 in the lower right-hand corner pocket. I don't know if he has the desirable angle for that particular shot, but if he doesn't, then he'll play the 6-7 combination.
Stops a moment. He's thinking about shooting the 6 in the same side as the 5.
Okay, well, he has the angle to do that. He doesn't have the angle to follow through the 5, playing position for the 6 in the upper right, but he can force it slightly, like he's done, playing position for the 6 in the same pocket. And it looks like he's done his job fairly well. It's not really as well as he wanted, as good as he wanted it, but he's in pretty good. He'll go into the 7 with the cue ball here, pushing it toward the pocket.
Does a good job. Yeah.
He'll come cross table here, Jay, but he'll make sure that he keeps a nice angle on the 8. He'll go 2 cushions.
Just as you said, Billy.
No, he's got a nice angle. This is natural, Jay. The shot is not difficult at all. It may appear that he should be a little straighter in, but this is ideal. This is a natural shot. All he needs to do is pocket the 8. He comes naturally down table for perfect position on the 9.
Mike Lebron prepares to go on the hill in this match very quickly. And he does.
Mike Lebron leads in the match now 10 games to 6. Well, that thin thread that I said that Mike Massey was hanging by, he did err on the 3. And I said if he errs one more time, this match could be history, and it very well could be history. Mike Lebron's at the table, only needing to pocket a ball on the break, get a shot, and run the remaining balls. Then he'll capture this match and have the opportunity to face Buddy Hall in the finals.
May have been Mike LeBron's strongest break yet.
Okay, he pocketed the ball on the break, and I don't believe he has the shot on the 1 into the upper right-hand corner pocket. Now, the 3 ball is located about a 1/4 of an inch or a 1/2 of an inch off of that cushion, which makes this 1-3 combination very, very makeable, okay? Now, I wouldn't be surprised if he went after the 1-3, or possibly he may cross-bank the 1.
Cross-bank the 1.
Now, look at the cue ball. Mike Massey has a chance here. Look at the cue ball. It's gone. Okay, now this may be Mike Massey's last opportunity. So he really must make good with it. The 1 ball naturally is at the other end of the table. The 2 ball he just passed, it's to the right of the 9, on top of the 9 there, the right-hand side pocket. The 3 ball I mentioned to before is by the right-hand farthest corner pocket. The 4 ball is at the opposite side of the table of the 3. The 6 and the 8 are by the left-hand side pocket, the 8 being the ball in the side pocket, just about.
The only problem I see is the 6 ball.
The 6 will go, I believe, in the side pocket, Jay. He wants to just force this ball cross table. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. He's got an ideal angle. Now, while he may have to stretch a little bit, he came across a little bit too far. If he's ambidextrous, he can use his left hand. If not, he'll have to get the bridge.
He's looking for the bridge. You won't see Mike Massey use the bridge very often.
Yes, that's true. Okay, well, he must get back here because the 6 will not go in the left-hand corner pocket. He must get back, Jay. He has to get back, and he has not gotten back. He has not gotten back.
May be able to either play a billiard on the 8 ball, although I don't like that shot very much.
It's possible that the billiard may be available.
He's
but
looking at the combination, the
not
6 into
appealing.
the 7.
The
Yeah, 'cause
7,
that
the
7's
7
about a full inch off the rail.
At least 2 inches, possibly.
Looks like he is going safe. Going to bank the 6 ball? No. He tried to put the cue behind the 7 ball, didn't do it.
Okay,
I think the 6 goes off the 8 into the side pocket.
this play from Mike Massey, I'm sorry, Michael, your play in this particular match was not up to par. It was a subpar performance by Mike Massey, giving Mike Lebron too many opportunities. And Mike LeBron, naturally being the opportunist that he is, took advantage of it. This is game number 17. If Mike LeBron is able to run the remaining 3 balls on the table, he will be in the finals against Buddy Hall.
Jacked up over the 7. He couldn't do too much with the cue ball. He's got a relatively long shot on the 8. Doesn't have to do much, just make the 8. Hold the cue ball. Slides back.
Well, Mike Massey played one heck of a tournament, finishing 3rd, collecting $9,000.
That was a great tournament for Mike. I know he needed the money. He's not in the situation Mike LeBron's in.
Mike LeBron guaranteed $16,000 with an opportunity to meet Buddy Hall in the finals.
Mike LeBron will be playing Buddy Hall tonight in the second final match. That will begin at 7:30 p.m.
I don't know if we're going to be able to get an interview from Mike LeBron.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a nice hand for Mr. Mike Massey?
Probably so, because Mike LeBron is more than willing at most of the time to come up and to be interviewed after a match, especially after a match of this magnitude, a big match like this. I'm certainly sure he'll be willing to share his thoughts with the viewers.
We're still playing the women's loser bracket final right now. Ava Mataya now has pulled out to a 7-4 lead over Kelly Oyama. That match will be going on for a little while.
Ava Mataya is a fighter, and that's one of her strongest attributes is that she's a fighter at the table. She has a lot of ability, but she really never gives up. She's a fighter. Kelly Oyama defeated Ava Mataya earlier in this tournament. Ava Mataya knew that going into this match, dropped behind in this particular match against Kelly Oyama, but she was able to have fought back now, and she has a lead in the match 7-4.
Ava's first match earlier today was with Laurie John Jones. It was like a final match, Billy. It was an excellently played match. I think both players knew that if whoever won the match looked like they were a favorite to get into the finals, and they went 10-10. I like Ava and Laurie John's game. They're both battlers. They both have a real good nose for the wire. They know how to win. In this case, it was Ava. She easily defeated Tammy Wesley in her next match, and she's got a fairly good lead over Kelly Oyama right now. The winner of this match, of course, will play Robin Bell in the single race to 13 final. And I know Ava would like to be in that match.
I'm certainly sure of that.
$6,000, the first prize for the women.
Well, I don't really want to. I would like to interview Mike LeBron. I'm certainly sure he'll be willing to come up. Yeah, he's motioning to us now because he wants to come up because, you know, Mike's a family man. He's going to bring this tape back to his family, and they're all going to be sitting down in front of the television. He has a beautiful family, by the way, and they're going to all watch Mike in victory here and share this happy moment. In the finals, Pat, Jay, in the finals, is it one match for the trophy in the 30,000?
That is correct.
Or does Mike LeBron have to defeat Buddy Hall twice? What is it?
One race to 13.
One race to 13. That's beautiful. I love the action. One race to 13 for the marbles.
What do you make the line on that final match, Billy?
Well, you're putting me on the spot. Yeah, you're putting me on the spot here, Jay. You know, I would like to make Buddy Hall a favorite in the match when you take into consideration the records of both players. in history, okay?
Buddy's won more big tournaments than
Buddy
anybody.
Hall is regarded as possibly the best 9-ball player to have ever played the game. Mike Lebron, very, very gutsy player who rises to the occasion. Buddy Hall, a master, has the master's touch, plays the balls the correct way all the time, doesn't do anything foolishly, plays the percentages. Mike LeBron, the same. Buddy Hall, Mike LeBron in the breaking area, very close. Both breaks are comparable. As far as guts, both players have a lot of heart. Now, you have to give a slight edge to Buddy Hall for his experience and just his reputation as a player.
I agree with you. I predict the final score 13-11.
That's my lunch. Okay, Mike LeBron's making his way up here. Yeah, I would say Buddy's about a 2-game favorite in the final match, but it can go either way. The funny thing about
Go ahead, Jay. I'm sorry.
The funny thing about 9-ball, as you know, Billy, is one player could get hot. They could put racks together, and it could be a runaway. I've seen final matches, the player wins by 6-7 games, and it could go right to the wire.
It could. A lot of different things could happen in one match. But what also happens is the best player will win a more of a percentage of the time, a higher percentage of the time. And the player that's playing the best will win naturally a higher percentage of the time.
Well, Buddy's been there several times, big tournaments, big first prizes, and he's got there. I like Buddy in the big match for the big money.
Jay, you also made reference to the match between Buddy Hall and Mike Massey, where Buddy Hall really didn't play particularly well in that match. That should be considered also.
He didn't seem to be pressed by Mike Massey. Mike Massey just failed over and over again to take advantage of opportunities. He put no pressure on Buddy, and it looked to me from up here as if Buddy kind of sensed that he was going to win the match one way or another, and that's basically what happened.
Maybe Buddy felt a little complacent in the match. He really didn't feel that he was pressured to respond to the challenge. In other words, he felt that he had the match in the bag. I don't know.
I didn't want to say quite that, but he seemed to feel very much in control of the match. Well, here we have Mike LeBron approaching us now.
Okay, Mike LeBron is on his way to the booth, and I can see him. He's quickly approaching the booth area, and here he is. Okay, first, Mike LeBron, Jay and I both would like to congratulate you on an extremely well-played match against Mike Massey in the semifinals. Now you have an opportunity to meet the rifleman, Buddy Hall, in the finals.
Well, really, all week I'm feeling very confident, and I think
Use this mic, Mike.
I think I'm right now under par of my game. I'm confident that I'm going to win this
You've
tournament.
played really well, Mike, the last 3 matches. I watched your match last night with Nick Varner, your match with Johnny Archer, and now with Mike Massey. You're playing about as well as I've seen you play.
Yes, since I have the contact lenses about a year and a half ago, and I'm playing pretty good because I'm seeing the ball really good, like in the long shot, and I think the contact lenses help my game.
Let me ask you very honestly, Mike. Buddy Hall's been in this position before. He's played tournament matches and finals for big money, $30,000, $25,000, and he's won. This is, I think, your first time in a tournament final that's quite this big a prize money.
No, I just played one in Germany. It was $16,000 first prize, just about 5-6 weeks ago.
Yeah, I was going to bring that point up, Mike. You just played in Germany, finishing second in that tournament, making it to the finals. But you really didn't have much to say about the finals in that particular tournament because the fellow that you played against broke the balls extremely well, and he created a lot of opportunities off of his break. Now, if that happens this time, you can't do anything about it. But I believe that Buddy Hall does not have a break as good as the fellow you played in Germany. So therefore, I feel that both you and Buddy Hall will get opportunities at the table. And considering how well you've been playing, I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see you walk away with that $30,000 in cash.
Well, Billy, hopefully, and I want to win that $30,000. I can't use it.
Billy, you just told me how rich he was.
No. I said to Jay before you came up here, Mike. I said, you know something, Jay? I said, Mike would rather win this tournament just for the trophy and the tournament than for the $30,000 because I said Mike's fairly well off. He's done quite well in the past several years. He's worked all his life. He's lived a good family life, and he's quite comfortable. I said, but he really probably wants to win this tournament for the trophy and the respect. I said, but of course he can use the 30. I mean, he'd like the 30,000 too, though.
Yeah, the 30,000 won't hurt. Won't hurt a bit.
Well, this will probably be the biggest event of 1991, so there's a lot of prestige in winning this event. The reports of this event will go all over the world. This information is going out on the wire service tonight, so it's a very prestigious event for a player to win.
Another thing I like to bring up, Mike, is that if you happen to go on and win this event, you know, Player of the Year, you'll be in the league for Player of the Year, finishing second in Germany, first in this tournament.
I win in Taipei there.
Whoa! Yeah.
Well, like he says, a lot of prestige, you know. It's not only the money because, but Billy, I feel so comfortable, and I'm so happy there. Anything they accomplish, I accomplished when I was over 50 years old. So I feel very good because a lot of people, they never had the chance to accomplish what I did.
That's absolutely true, Mike. I brought that up also. I said that you're really a dynamic person in the regard that you're 55 or 56 or 57 years old, and you're able. I'm not going to tell. I'm not going to tell either. I don't know. Maybe
Not
you're
that
40.
old.
I don't.
54.
Anyways, you're able to compete against world-class players, and I'm talking about the best world-class players, and consistently win. And my hat's off to you, Mike. You're really a dynamic person and a good man.
Well, thank you, really, and I really appreciate for this interview, and let me go eat now.
Okay, and I think you want to take a rest, a $30,000 rest, and prepare yourself for the upcoming match between Buddy Hall and yourself.
Well,
Good luck to you tonight, Mike.
Okay, congratulations, Mike, and good luck in the finals.
thank you.
Well, Rick Bowling once again did a fine job on the camera. Pat Fleming on the mixer, timing the handheld camera and the overhead camera. Once again, a very fine job. Jay Helfert, you're okay, Jay. I was really impressed with your commentary. It's the first time we've had the opportunity to work with one another, and I hope that you'll be here in the finals because I enjoyed working with you.
I enjoy working with you, Billy. Thanks very much.
So on behalf of Jay Helfert, this is Bill Incardona saying thanks a lot for supporting us in this this match between Mike Lebron and Mike Massey. The upcoming match between now Mike Lebron and Buddy Hall will be aired at 7:30. And I hope you'll join us for that match also. So if you're interested in this tape or any other tape in Pat Fleming's inventory list, call him 1-800-828-0397.